So I'm watching Big Judah's video, and it's really interesting. And then I already had the book that he's reading from. I downloaded it a long time ago, the Kolbrin Bible. Man, in a lot of these books, there is prophecy that is clearly taking place in our days, okay? And then there's things that are surely to come. Because within this scripture, okay, within this Kolbrin Bible that he was reading from, these are things that we see in our day-to-day lives. This is like the days that we're living in, okay? But is reading from the great scroll, the destroyer, okay? The destroyer from the great scroll, okay? This is about the destroyer that's coming, okay? I think it's second Esdras, it talks about the destroyer. And we may be setting this up. Man, I promise I did not plan this. I was literally just trying to enjoy the day and just watch Big Judah's video. It's entitled, "The Dry Bones Are Rising from the Valley. Let's come together and discuss how this affects the world." Now, I'm on one accord with my brother, on this video. I agree with what he's saying, pretty much wholeheartedly so far within this video. I made it 29 minutes in, 29 minutes and 26 seconds. And I happened to pause it because I kept reading, man. I had to pause him so that I could keep reading because I'm just like, oh my gosh, are you serious? So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and read this, but I'm gonna set it up as well with Esdras. So we're just gonna get it. All right. So this is chapter 3, the Destroyer, part 1 from the Great Scroll, and this is from the Kolbrin Bible. Okay, it says it's page 457. Okay, out of 473. Okay, so. Men forget the days of the destroyer. Only the wise know where it went and that it will return in its appointed hour. It raged across the heavens in the days of wrath, and this was its likeness. It was a billowing cloud of smoke, enwrapped in a ruddy glow, not distinguishable in joint or limb. Its mouth was an abyss from which came flame, smoke, and hot cinders. Let me get a drink of water. Hold on. Hi, baby. Okay. When ages pass, certain laws operate upon the stars in the heavens. When ages pass, certain laws operate upon the stars in the heavens. Their ways change. There is movement and restlessness. They are no longer constant, and a great light appears redly in the skies. When blood drops to the earth, the destroyer will appear, and mountains will open up and belch forth fire and ashes. Trees will be destroyed, and all living things engulfed. Waters will be swallowed up by the land, and seas will boil. The heavens will burn brightly and redly, and there will be a copper hue over the face of the land, followed by the day of darkness. A new moon will appear and break up and fall. A new moon will appear and break up and fall. The people will scatter in madness. They will hear the trumpet and battle cry of the destroyer, and will seek refuge in the den of the earth. In the den in the earth. Terror will eat away their hearts, and their courage will flow from them like water from a broken pitcher. They will be eaten up in the flames of wrath and consumed by the breath of the destroyer. Thus in the days of heavenly wrath, which have gone, and thus it will be in the days of doom when it comes again. The times of its coming and going are known unto the wise, These are the signs and times which shall precede the destroyer's return. 110 generations shall pass into the west, and nations will rise and fall. Men will fly in the air as birds, and swim in the seas as fishes. Men will talk peace with one another. Hypocrisy and deceit shall have their day. Women will be as men, and men as women. Passion will be a plaything of men. A nation of soothsayers shall rise and fall, and her tongue shall be the speech learned. A nation of lawgivers shall rule the earth and pass away into nothingness. One worship will pass into 4 quarters of the earth, talking peace and bringing war. A nation of the seas will be greater than any other. A nation of the seas will be greater than any other. But it will be as an apple rotten at the core and will not endure. A nation of traitors will destroy men with wonders, and it shall have its day. Then shall the high strive with the low, and the north with the south, and the east with the west, and the light with the darkness. Men shall be divided by their races, and children will be born as strangers among them. Brother shall strive with brother, and husband with wife. Fathers will no longer instruct their sons, and their sons will be wayward. Women will become the common property of men, and will no longer be held in regard and respect. Cardi B, are we not living in these days? Are we literally not living in these days? Are women held in regard and respect in these days? Are they not seen as the property of men, a sexual plaything? Then men will be ill at ease in their hearts. They will seek they know not what. They don't know what they're seeking, and uncertainty and doubt will trouble them. They will possess great riches, but be poor in spirit. And there will be a bunch of us poor ones in riches, but be rich in spirit. Then will the heavens tremble, and the earth move. Men will quake in fear, and while terror walks with them, the heralds of doom will appear. They will come softly as thieves to the tomb. Men will not know them for what they are. Men will be deceived. The hour of the destroyer is at hand. In those days, men will have the great book before them. Wisdom will be revealed. The few will be gathered for the stand. It is the hour of trial. The dauntless ones will survive. The stout-hearted will not go down to destruction. Great power of all ages, unlike to all who set the trials of men. Be merciful to our children in the days of doom. Man must suffer to be great, but hasten not his progress unduly. In the great winnowing, let's find out what winnowing is. Alright, a blow, a current of air. Alright, wind. A current of air, wind. Okay? In the great wind, be not too harsh in the lesser ones among men. Even the son of a thief has become your scribe. Okay? Chapter 4, The Destroyer, Part 2 from the Great Scroll. O sentinels of the universe who watch for the destroyer, how long will your coming vigil last? O mortal men who wait without understanding, where will you hide yourselves? Where will you hide yourselves in the dread days of doom, when the heavens shall be torn apart and the skies rent in twain, and the days when children will turn gray-headed? This is the thing which will be seen. This is the terror your eyes will behold. This is the form of destruction that will rush upon you. There will be a great body of fire, the glowing head with many mouths and eyes ever changing. Terrible teeth will be seen in formless mouths, and a fearful dark belly will glow redly from fires inside. You know what this reminds me of? See, I used to watch Yu-Gi-Oh! And there was an episode where I think he was battling Malik, and the whole sky went like this dark, creepy color with eyes and mouths everywhere and blood dripping. That's what this reminds me of. Alright? So, get back with fires inside. Okay? There will be a great body of fire, the glowing head with many mouths and eyes ever changing. Terrible teeth will be seen in formless mouths, and a fearful dark belly will glow redly from the fires inside. Even the most stout-hearted man will tremble, and his bowels be loosened, for this is not a thing understandable to men. It will be a vast sky-spanning form, enwrapping earth, burning with many hues within wide open mouths. These will descend to sweep across the face of the land, engulfing all in the yawning jaws. The greatest warriors will charge against it in vain. The fangs will fall out, and lo, they are terror-inspiring things of cold-hardened water. Great boulders will be hurled down upon men, crushing them into red powder. As the great salt waters rise up in its train and roaring torrents pour toward the land, even the heroes among mortal men will be overcome with madness. As moths fly swiftly to their doom in the burning flame, so will these men rush to their own destruction. The flames going before will devour all the works of men. The waters following will sweep away whatever remains. The dew of death will fall slowly as gray carpet over the cleared land. Men will cry out in their madness, quote, "Oh, whatever being there is, save us from this tall form of terror. Save us from the great dew of death." Chapter 5, The Destroyer, Part 3 from the scroll of Aldifia. The doom shape, called the Destroyer, in Egypt, was seen in all the lands whereabout. In color, it was bright and fiery, in appearance changing and unstable. It twisted about itself like a coil, like water bubbling into a pool from an underground supply, and all men agreed that it was a most fearsome sight. It was not a great comet or a loosened star, being more like a fiery body of flame. Its movements on high were slow. Below it swirled in a manner of smoke, and it remained close to the sun, whose face hid it. There was a bloody redness about it, which changed as it passed along its course. It caused death and destruction in its rising and setting. It swept the earth with gray cinder rain, and caused many plagues, hunger, and other evils. It bit the skin of men and beasts until they became molted with sores. The earth was troubled and shook. The hills and mountains moved and rocked. The dark smoke-filled heavens bowed over earth, and a great howl came to the ears of men, borne to them upon the wings of the wind. It was the cry of the dark Lord, the master of dread. Thick clouds of fiery smoke passed before him, and there was an awful hail of hot stones and coals of fire. The doom-shape thundered sharply in the heavens, and shot out bright lightnings. The channels of water were turned back unto themselves, when the land tilted, and great trees were tossed about and snapped like twigs. Then a voice like 10,000 trumpets were heard over the wilderness, and before his burning breath the flames parted. The whole of the land moved, and mountains melted. The sky itself roared like 10,000 lions in agony, and bright arrows of blood sped back and forth across its face. Earth swelled up like bread upon the hearth. It's like a fireplace or like a furnace, something like that burns, like a pit of flames. This was the aspect of the doom shape called the Destroyer. When it appeared in days long gone by, in olden times, it is thus described in the old records: few of which remain, few of which remain, few of which remain. It is said that when it appears in the heavens above, earth splits open from the heat like a nut roasted before the fire. Then flames shot up through the surface and leap about like fiery fiends upon black blood. The moisture inside the land is all dried up. The pastures and cultivated places are consumed in flames, and they and all trees become white ashes. The doom shape is like a circling ball of flame which scatters small fiery offspring in its train. It covers about a fifth part of the sky, and sends withering snake-like fingers down to the earth. Before it, the sky appears frightened, and it breaks up and scatters away. Midday is no brighter than night. It spawns a host of terrible things. These are the things said of the Destroyer in the old records. Read them with a solemn heart, knowing that the doom shape has his appointed time and will return. It would be foolish to let them go unheeded. Now men say, quote, "Such things are not destined for our days. May the great power above grant this to be so. But come, the day surely will, in accordance with his nature, man will not be prepared."